Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Would really appreciate it. Would be really magnificent if you guys could do that for me. That'd be absolutely very generous and kind of you. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, what can we say? What can we say? Every time I turn around, there's a new Man United story. There's a new Man United controversy. What is going on, guys? Can't we just have a little bit of peace? Can't we have some peace? And it's always a negative story spin, isn't it, at the end of the day? Yesterday, we had the photo of Garnacho in an Aston Villa jersey with Rashford written on the back. A photo which was posted on his Instagram. Guys, look, it's not about having Rashford written at the back of the shirt. I've heard some people say, oh, but you're just angry because Rashford's written on the back of the shirt. No, we're not angry about Rashford. We don't care. Rashford plays for Man United. That's fine. You can have Rashford written on the back. You are wearing a rival football jersey, a rival Premier League club jersey, right? A club that is battling with us for honours, for Champions League spots, etc. It is unacceptable. This is exactly what is wrong with the Manchester United culture. This is the problem. Here we are. In one picture, you can see the problem at Man United. Culturally, we are all over the place. We're a toxic mess. We've got characteristics from players like Sancho, from players like Rashford, from players now like Garnacho. Where do you go from doing things like that? He knows what he's doing, guys. He knows what he's doing. He's a grown man. He's a man at the end of the day. When I was 10 years old, I knew not to wear a rival jersey. I knew. There's no excuses. Accountability. He knew what he was doing. He did it to wind up the fans. That's why he was going on his Instagram and deleting certain comments, because he knew it frustrated people. He knew it annoyed people. That where do we go for this? What is he trying to achieve? Is he trying to achieve a move to Villa? Is that what he's trying to do? Well, goodness me, he really certainly has got the engines running with that one, hasn't he, in regards to moving out the football club. But, guys, what I would say is that, look, it's unacceptable for me. I've been a Man United fan a long time, as people know. I bang on about that a lot, of course. But what I would say is that, you know, people dismissing this, I really don't think you quite grasp what football is all about. Football is about rivalry, right? And I'm not talking about, you know, a Flamengo shirt or you know, a club from another. Sometimes you would wear a German top or Italian top, but even though I'm English, you know what I mean? Those sort of things are okay. But when it comes to Premier League, in the Premier League, and you're wearing a rival top of the Premier League, it just, I mean, you wouldn't see it with David Beckham, would you? You wouldn't see it with Ryan Giggs, would you? And what would Sir Alex Ferguson do in that situation? What would he do in that situation? What would Roy Keane do in that situation if you were wearing, flaunting a rival shirt, of course, guys? Absolutely unacceptable. I don't want to lead on these sort of things. I don't like to talk about these sort of things, but you know, it just, every single week we got something, a player doing something which is so unnecessary. Mate, go there, enjoy your holiday, and don't make a scene, mate, because you know what you're doing, bruv. You're not stupid. You know what you're doing. You're a smart man. You know what you're doing. You got an Aston Villa top on. Oh, you know, whether you're moving to Aston Villa or not. I remember when Paul Ince wore the Manchester United jersey before he left West Ham. West Ham never forgave Paul Ince. Right up until this day, they don't forgive Paul Ince because he wore a top before he signed for Man United. It's betrayal. That's what it is. It's betrayal, and it's a slap in the face of the fans that supported you, even though when you're going for all that bull crap, we supported you, and you slapped the fans in the face. And I think that is unacceptable, in my opinion. Big up, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone is good. Good. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. Let's read some of your comments out. Big up, Tyborg. What's going on? First comment of the day. Good to see Tyborg. What's going on, mate? Buena Vinicius. What a crazy bunch we have here. I don't want to hear one single word against Amram from now on. He just wants to get rid of this culture. The gays attack. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tyborg. People are moaning about, oh, he's been left out the Europa League final. He's been left out. This proves his point. This proves Ruben Amram's point. This is exactly what Ruben Amram is trying to get rid of, a culture at the football club that has been there for nearly bloody 2 decades, guys. Do you know what I mean? So we need to remove this culture, and this is what Ruben Amram is trying to do. This is why Ruben Amram deserves our support. Absolutely. Big up, Tyborg. Garnacho's contract runs out 2029. Let him rot in the reserves. Until then, he wants an English club so he can try and so damage us. This is what it is at the end of the day, Bill. We have this vendetta. Look, I don't agree with the way Man United are being run as a football club. I've said it numerous amounts of time, Bill. I don't like the Glazers. I don't like Ineos. At the end of the day, I don't. But one thing is, right, you try your utmost as a Manchester United player. You're wearing that badge. You're standing on the shoulders of legends, guys. George Best, Sir Matt Busby, Sir Bobby Charlton. You're standing on the shoulders of those greats. Dennis Law, who we lost this year. We've lost Sir Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law in a very short space of time, right? And we haven't had all we've had is bull crap from these current players. That's all we've had. They're standing on the shoulders of legends, which is why they have a platform in the first place. They have this platform because of those greats. That's why they have this platform right now. At least have the respect for the football club. You don't respect the manager. Okay, fine. Right, fine. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you not respecting your manager. You don't have to like your manager, but you have to respect your manager. At the end of the day, what you should do, which is imperative, which is the most important thing, is that you should respect your football club and respect the fans, guys. Respect the fans. Don't disrespect the fans. What are Aston Villa doing right now? Aston Villa are laughing their heads off. Banter. Your players wear our jersey, mate. Your players wear our jersey, mate. It's crazy, isn't it? It beggars belief. Is that Isaac not a Bremen player anymore? Also, he's tearing that up in Tiber. It's not Isaac, my friend Jarle. It's not. Absolutely. Actually, I'm wrong. He has been on loan in Denmark. It's not Isaac, my friend. It's not Isaac. Definitely not. Absolutely. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is fine with you. Big up, Dabizaz. Hope you're good. Amir, in Amram we trust. Big up, Amir. Hope you're doing well. Sal and team, good morning, my friend. Good morning. Hope you're well. Adios, Garnacho. Look, you know what? He's basically signed, sealed, delivered. He's at exit out of Manchester United, isn't he? Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. You know what I mean? Stevie Wonder. At the end of the day, he's gone. You can't be doing that. Look, people will try and brush this off. People would say, look, it's just his mate. He's wearing one at the top. It's just that is exactly the problem at Man United. Exactly the bloody problem at Man United. We brush off these type of things like this, right? We brush it off like it's nothing. Then we want to criticize Mark Goldbridge because because he's successful. This is the problem with this fan base. The problem. We look at people who are openly wearing a rival top and posted it on Instagram for the world to see, to disrespect the football club, absolutely. My goodness me. I remember, guys. One person said to me, if Man United lose this game, I want you to wear an Arsenal top, or I want you to wear a Tottenham top, I want you to wear a Liverpool top. I would say no. I'll say I would do anything. I'm not wearing an opposition team's jersey, especially a rival. I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing the Ipswich jersey, Southampton jersey, none of that. Not for me. Absolutely not. I've never worn another jersey, unless it's an international jersey. And that's it at the end of the day. And if it is an international jersey, it'd be an international jersey like Italy, which I have roots from as well. So at the end of the day, it wouldn't be like I'm wearing another jersey. But, club jerseys is different. At the end of the day, this is what it is. At the end of the day, this is what it is. So we look at things from a perspective, right? So let's have a look at this. So this is the photo of Garnacho, right, in Ibiza. This is a photo of him going towards his car with Rashford written on the back. So it's basically a double whammy, isn't it? At the end of the day, we've got people, guys, at this football club right now, right? Let's get it. Let's have it right. Let's have it right, guys. We got people who are paid contractually to this football club. We got people who are paid to play for this football club who are openly flirting on other people's YouTube channels with Barcelona, right? He's flirting with Barcelona, but he plays for Man United, but he's flirting with Barcelona, talking about Barcelona, kissing up to Lamine Yamal, kissing up to Thierry Henry. We got players who are doing that. Do you know what we need to do? Ineos need to look at this and say, right, you two, out of here. If you don't leave, you're in the reserves. It's as simple as that. Do what you want to do. You're in the reserves. That's what they should be doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we look at it, and I'm going to look at things from a fair perspective, we look at this, right? We look at this from Dorgu. Dorgu wearing an AS Roma shirt. Now, look, this is also not good. This is also not good. The reason it's not good is because it is, again, a Roma top and it's not a Manchester United top. Is it as bad? No. The reason it's not as bad is because it's not in the Premier League and Roma are not a direct rival with us. So that is not right that he's got a Roma top on, but it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't cry about that at the end of the day. In regards to Ahmad, he's got the top with, he's got the Brighton top on with a pal of his on there. That is a little bit of context in that. There's a little bit of context in that. Again, it's not right. Think about it. It's not right. You don't wear Premier League rival football tops, even if it is your pal or whatever you're doing it for. You just don't do it whilst you're contracted to a football club like Manchester United. You don't do it, and it's disrespectful, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. It's wrong. And what I would say is that, you know, everything is wrong. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. It's just an absolute farce. It's a mess. You know, players who are openly flirting with other clubs like Barcelona, players like Sancho who are rejecting offers from other clubs because they want the money. They still want the money. They don't want to reduce their wage to play football, even though there's a World Cup coming at the end of the season. Rashford, who just wants Barcelona. Garnacho wearing Aston Villa tops. I mean, it's just... At the end of the day, welcome to Manchester United, guys. Welcome to Manchester United. Another day at the office, isn't it? At the end of the day, and it just makes me absolutely. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, guys. Absolutely not. I really don't. Morning, Rich. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good morning. Big up, Sal. It's time to get the trash out of the football club. Absolutely. We have to. It's a culture at the football club. It resonates on the top. And as I said, it affects the bottom as well. And that includes on the pitch, of course, my friend. Big up, Coco. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Sal, yesterday on Chatterbox, you made a great comment regarding Cunha. You said you can tell he is a full on United player as if he was from the days past. You can tell, mate, the way, look, what I like about certain footballers when they sign for the football club, I fell in love with this great football club because of the past. And what the thing is that when players mention the past, I like when they mention the past. I like how he you know, he's talking like he's a fan of Manchester United and he knows Man United, and you could tell he knows Man United. You know, and he's the type of player that we've been missing over the many years. And I think he's going to be an absolutely underrated player in the Premier League next season. I think he's going to absolutely surprise a few people, in my opinion. I really do. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think we're very lucky to have him. We got him on obviously the release clause, so we were lucky in regards to that. In regards to Mbeumo, which I think is another great signing for Man United once we get him through the door. Mbeumo fee is basically done, 63 million plus about 5 to 10 million and add-ons, around that much. Numbers not been clarified at the moment, but it will reach about 70 million euros. I think that's worth it, in my opinion. Mbeumo is ticking, isn't it? Tick tack, as we say. Its time is ticking with Mbeumo, of course. There is obviously talk that it will be dragged on to the end of the month and the 1st of July, which I won't be surprised with, obviously, because of the financial year. So we have to remember that the deal is done. We're waiting to maximum the 1st of July. If the deal isn't done by then you can start saying, well, Sal, you said this, Sal, you said that. You could do that. But I believe the deal is done and Man United are just dragging it out into the window. Of course, guys, to the financial year, as I say. Absolutely. Big up, Rajat. How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing, my friend? Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Sal. Now, Ineos must do something about Garnacho and Rashford. Rashford has been an irritable nuisance at Man United for many years now. Many people think that, you know what, he's mank, ball and bread. Doesn't mean he's not a prat. He is a prat. You know, what he's been doing the last few years is evident that he is a prat. He's disrespectful. Marcus Rashford is a disrespectful individual. He started off as a very humble player, a very humble guy. But now he's turning into this not a mercenary, but attitude-ridden, arrogant, egotistical maniac, you know, and nothing could get past that because his agents are his brother. I mean, I remember last year I was talking about this. A year ago, I was talking about Rashford. I was talking about what's Rashford doing, going to Piers Morgan and blah, 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 and doing all these kind of things and stuff like that, putting the club into disrepute, disrespecting the fans. I feel like I've been here before. It's just like deja vu every single time, you know, and it's things that, you know, should not be happening at a top-level football club. These things shouldn't be happening at a top-level football club. I believe this is why. One of the reasons I didn't want Rashford and Sancho back at the football club is not just because we want to sell them for money. That's part of it. But one of the biggest reasons I didn't want them back at the football club is because of the toxicity that they'll bring to the rest of the team, especially the young players. In particular, the young players. It's that. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't want that environment back. I didn't want that poison back at the football club, because that's what it is ultimately. It's an infection, a virus that spreads, you know, because at the end of the day, we've had players like Luke Shaw, like Mason Mount, when the going gets tough, let's pretend we're injured, and you know what, that's what we need to do. I don't want to play next game. I don't really feel like playing, but I want to play in the World Cup. And don't be surprised if someone like Luke Shaw will get fit by January. By January, Luke Shaw will be fit and will be playing very well for Manchester United because he wants to play the World Cup for England. Get them both out of club. Big up John O'Connell. Big up Hope We Can. Football is a modern day gladiators. Football is war. No smiling, but put the boot in and elbows in. Do not let them pass. Absolutely. Bill. And this is why I don't mind people have that little bit of attitude. It's like Cunha has that little bit of attitude that Man United need. Get your foot stuck in. You know what I mean? Risk breaking your leg. Risk getting a thigh strain. Risk getting injured. Do it. Because at the end of the day, that is what football is about. I remember when players used to do it in the past. Nowadays, it's like semi-jog. You know what Man United players do? You know what a lot of them, including Rashford and players like that, do? You know what they do? You know when someone opens the door for you, right? And you're literally not too close, but you're also a bit far away. So you do that little awkward jog, don't you? When they've opened the door. That is what our players do. I pretend that I'm trying to close down. I do that little awkward jog. That's what our players do. It's ridiculous at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely pathetic. And I hope this culture leaves our football club. Like Garnacho, but he did wrong and it's not helping. Absolutely. There you go. I like him as well. Everyone knows that. Working would have beat him up in the car park. Absolutely. Dembo, Monisel, I knew the club would be fact, but this is on another level. Get him out and Bremo in, and he'll show the little pick how to play Manchester United. Absolutely. And Bremo will show him how to put the ball in the back of the net and play as a team player. Absolutely. Natty, Sal, why are they so slow to do the sell Garnacho? At the end of the day, we're working very slow, and I agree, Natty. At the moment, I'm not too sure why Man United are working slow on Garnacho. I think they're waiting for the 1st of July to get most of the deals done because of the financial year and stuff like that. You know, they're in line to make more money and obviously cheaper deals and stuff like that. Tax year, isn't it, and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on this kind of thing, but what I would say is that Man United are dragging it out, you know what I mean, to get the best deal for their player. Not to say that the player hasn't had offers, which I believe he has. Wearing an Aston Villa jersey, maybe he's going to Aston Villa. Who knows? We have heard about that before. We've also heard about Mason Mount going to Aston Villa as well. It's all about Aston Villa today. Marcus Rashford going to Newcastle, never going to happen. I don't think he's going to go to Newcastle. I think he set his sights on Barcelona, hasn't he? Mad, isn't it? Bill, absolutely. Big up along the Ipswich fan. Big up, my friend. Good morning, Chris. How you doing, my friend? Are you doing well? Good morning, Smiling. What's going on? Good morning, sir. How you doing? Good. Garnacho doesn't lack common sense. He needs to level. I mean, at the end of the day, he doesn't lack common sense. He's a grown-ass man. As I said earlier in the show, that when I was a kid, I would never dream of wearing another football jersey, in particular a rival jersey. I would never do it. You could beg me to do it. I'll be held like this. Put the jersey on. I would not do it. I would not do it. My older brother's a Tottenham fan. My younger brother's a Liverpool fan, right? My dad's a Huddersfield fan. My mum's a Wimbledon fan. I had jerseys all over the bloody shop. I made sure I separate my jerseys from those jerseys because at the end of the day, I rather, you know what? I don't know what I'll do those jerseys. I said, look, my brother said, would you wear it once? Would you wear it? I said, I'll never wear it. I'll never wear it. I'd rather go in the street with no top on than wear that. Absolutely. I would. Absolutely. Darren, what's going on, my friend? Well, I was a big fan of Garnacho. He can F off now. Look, how many times have we backed him down? How many times have we backed Garnacho over this last year? How many times? You know, and I do believe that there is a Garnacho versus the fans thing going on. I think there is a Garnacho versus the fans. Ever since that trollop, whoever stood outside Old Trafford, Planet Fizz or whatever his name is, was outside Old Trafford. Ever since then, I think it's became a player versus the fans sort of mentality. Because Garnacho's going to look at that and think he represents some of the fans when he doesn't, because he's not a real fan, this ginormous lump of lard. You know, so I would say that ever since then, things have sort of materialized. You know, how do I say it? They've deteriorated in regards to the relationship between the fans and Garnacho, unfortunately. And there is a us against the fan sort of thing, Garnacho against the fan sort of thing going on at Man United, which is very, very sad, guys. It is very sad. Nowadays, players do not care about the fans. They care about their brands. I mean, look, you can care about your brand, Natty. You can care about your wages. You can care about all that. But one thing you don't do, as a Manchester United player, right? As I've said, I cannot understand it. Guys, when I talk about Manchester United, people don't understand what I think about when I talk about Man United. When I say the name Manchester United, I have a history on my head that goes way back to Newton Heath. And, you know, it goes all the way. And I think about the Busby Babes. I think about the 1958 Munich disaster. I think about 1968. I think about the relegation 1974. I think about being a cup team in the 1980s. I think about Sir Alex Ferguson. I think about Bobby Charlton. I think about Dennis Law. I think about George Best. I think about Duncan Edwards. This is what I do when I think about Manchester United. You know, so when someone openly disrespects this football club, I take it personally. I take it personally, just like I did with Jadon Sancho. When Jadon Sancho wrote that tweet, I didn't care if he didn't get on with the manager, even though that manager looked after him. But what I cared about is that he disrespected the club and disrespected the fans. You know, that's what I was so upset about and annoyed about, you know? And this is the biggest problem at Man United right now. This is the cultural problem in a nutshell, in evidence. If an investigator came in and saw me right now and asked me, what's the problem with Man United right now? All I need to do is put up that Instagram post and say, look, this is the problem with Man United. There, tell me what the problem is. And they will tell you. And CR7 World, and I kind of kicked not too long ago. I couldn't kick. I mean, at the end of the day, look, when CR7 came into Manchester United, right? If a player like CR7 comes to Man United, and I'm a player that plays for Man United, in particular if I'm playing up front for Man United, like Marcus Rashford, right? Ronaldo was trying to teach Rashford certain aspects of the game. Rashford was blanking him. He was ignoring him. His ego is too astronomical. You know, he's got the ego of Cristiano Ronaldo, but the ability of Theo Walcott, guys. In fact, Theo Walcott actually had a better bloody career, in my opinion, to be honest with you. Absolutely dreadful. Revert 7, good morning. Garnacho is leaving anyway. The sooner the better. Ahmed wore the Brighton shirt recently too. Young players these days have no respect for the club or the badge. We need to knock boys. And I said that. As I said, no player should be wearing a shirt that they are not contracted to. It's love for the badge. It's love for the colours. That's what it is. Love for the colours. And Ahmad is wrong. Ahmad is wrong. I agree with that. Ahmad is wrong. And if he wants to wear it in your spare time. You know what I mean? Ahmad was wrong. Dorgu was wrong. Dorgu were Roma. It's not as bad. It's a different country. Star Blood, Serie A. But still, it's not right, is it? We're professional football clubs. We may play Roma one day, like we have in the past. And we have quite a toxic relationship with Roma. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, look, you know, all that is just unnecessary, mate. You've got all the Man United jerseys you could pick from, some lovely Man United jerseys you got there. Put one of the Man United jerseys on. Why don't do that? Why don't you wear a Rashford Man United jersey? Then it wouldn't be a problem. Garnacho, ever since he threw the Amram under the bus, he has no respect in the international fans. Malaysia, man, I think he's CR7. Big up, Kenny. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bruv. Jeff, if the players don't want to leave, don't hold them back. And the United shirt for them is just a paycheck with no intention of to build the club but forever. Yes, they know who they are. I back Amram. I back Amram as well. And this is evident why Amram was doing the things he did last season, why he dropped him from the Europa League squad. This is why, exactly why he did that. At the end of the day, these players are Manchester United players by name, but they're not Man United players by culture. They're Man United players just by what's written on their contract. That's it. They don't have the DNA of Manchester United, in my opinion. They don't have that thing you need that is a Man United player, in my opinion. Michael, Garnacho lacks common sense. He's advisors and also lacks common sense. He's destroying his career. And this is what it is, Michael, because at the end of the day, in the Premier League, if you down tool by a milli, like a percentage, right? A milli percentage, right? If you down tool, you're going to fail in the Premier League. The levels are that close, right? You're going to foul in the Premier League. So if you are messing around, blaming everyone else for your downfall and not working on your game, getting your head down and working hard and practicing and not practice for 20 minutes just for Instagram. I'm talking about proper practicing behind the scenes. You know what Cantona used to do when the training would be gone? He'd be kicking the ball against the wall at the cliff. You know that? You know when Beckham used to be taking free kicks after training was ended, practice. And people wonder why they were so good. People wonder why they were successful. These players right now, you can get Mark Hughes, You can get Eric Cantona, you can get David Beckham, you can get Ryan Giggs, you can get Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Paul Parker, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Dennis Irwin, Peter Schmeichel. Put them in the team right now at their age right now, their advanced age, right? And you'll see they'll still beat them. They'll still beat that team out there today who came 15th. They'll still do it. I guarantee you. Afro Suit, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Santo Rashford, Pratt. You can't polish a turd in Goldberg's voice. You can't polish a turd, absolutely. And this is absolutely right. You can't polish a turd. You can't make these players change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, you can't change the spots on a leopard. You know, at the end of the day, the analogies are all there. You can't. They're old enough to know better. They're grown-ass men. They're grown-ass men. If I did something wrong, look, for example, if I was working in McDonald's, right, and I worked in McDonald's, right? I worked at 16 years old. I worked in McDonald's, guys. I've done the hard graft, okay? If I walked into McDonald's, right, after my college, I leave college and I go to McDonald's. If I go to McDonald's in a Burger King shirt, right? A Burger King jersey. If I go to McDonald's in a Burger King jersey, what would the McDonald's staff do to me? What would they do to me? They won't care if I'm 16, 17 years old. They're not going to care about that, are they? What are they going to do to me? They're going to discipline me, right? They're going to discipline me. Gross misconduct, right? Misrepresentation of the company, right? That's what they're going to do, right? They're not going to say, oh, don't worry about him. He's only 16. He's going to learn. He needs to learn. They're not going to do that, are they? They're going, you know Bella, mate. You've been to school. You've been to college. You know not to wear that shirt, don't you? You work for McDonald's. You don't work for Burger King. That's gross misconduct, mate. You're suspended. That's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely. And the way these people try to defend it, it's just unbelievable. And Bruno liked it. Big up. I mean, look, this is exactly Johnson. I'm talking about all those players. Every single one of those players that liked the tweet, okay? Like the Instagram. I would give the benefit of the doubt because obviously it was the last picture on the Instagram post. So they might have not seen the last picture. This is the thing why our players are not very bright. They're not very smart, including Bruno. They're not very smart. They need to look at look at the whole, reel, to be honest with you. And they probably haven't done that. But either way, I don't know that officially, what's in their mind. But one thing I will say is wrong. And there you go. There's a representation of where we are wrong. That's our captain. That's the one that we rejected 100 million for. Right? Get off bloody Twitter. Right? Get off Twitter and concentrate on your football club, mate. Get off Instagram and concentrate on your football club. Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? I come from Brian Robson, Nemanja Vidic, these kind of captains. David Beckham, captain. Roy Keane, captain. I come from that generation, mate. You just captain. You were the captain of the ship that sunk last season, Mr. Bruno. So at the end of the day, you have a big role to play in where Man United are right now because you are the captain, mate. You're the captain. You're the one who drifts out of midfield. You're the one who gave the ball away in the Europa League final. Okay? Right? So let's talk about this, right? You're going around liking Instagram posts. Mate, this is Manchester United, mate. Not Gimenez. Okay? So at the end of the day, if you want to play for this football club and you want people to respect you, respect them. Respect them and respect the club. Randall. Morning, Sal. Get these grubs out of our club. Absolutely, Randall. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Absolutely. Natty, Sal, do you think that, no, we have lost the negotiating factor where we do if Garnacho want only Aston Villa? Yeah, look, when you do something like that, if we were going to sell Garnacho to Aston Villa, if we're going to sell him, now we've lost the power. We've lost the power. It's a gross misconduct of it. It's gross misconduct because we've lost the power now. Aston Villa could say, well, you know what, guys? He wants to come to Aston Villa. Look, he's wearing an Aston Villa jersey. We got the power. 30 million. That's what it's going to be. Starting off at 30 million straight away. He wants to come to Aston Villa. He's not going to play for Man United anymore. He's just absolutely effed us over. And people don't realize that. Yo, Bruno liked the post. It don't really mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing, Rajat. Guys, you liking a post with someone with an opposition shirt, a Premier League rival, liking a post doesn't mean anything, mate. You obviously don't understand Man United, Rajat. You really don't. You really don't, mate. You really don't. Moed, PSG want Rias. Big up. Dorgu, what Aroma top two. Though these players would have been clipped around the ear back in the day. The Manchester United badge is dragged through the mud. Exactly. And all the players that are liking the tweet as well. liking the Instagram post as well. You know what I mean? If you don't understand what it means, right, you are co-signing something. So if Rashford has an Aston Villa jersey on and one of the Man United players likes it, right, you are co-signing it. You are saying, I like that. I agree with that. Basically, that's what you're saying. At the end of the day, it may mean nothing to some people. But for Man United fans and people who know about levels of Man United, who've been a Man United fans for nearly 40 years, know the levels, know what you have to do to win at Man United. And it's the small details. Absolutely. Morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Are we doing well? I need to find out 4 weeks' wages. Absolutely, Darren. That should be the first thing. Garnacho knows exactly what he's doing. People shouldn't be fooled. Exactly. And so does Bruno. You know what I mean? There you go. These kids have no respect for Manchester United FC. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Good morning, Sal. And all I can do is voice my opinion this morning as you want to. A sponsor at some point. Good morning, Sal. And all I can do is not voice my opinion this morning as you want a sponsor at some point. Big up, Timo. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the stream, my friend. Hope you're good. Hope you're well, my friend. Good to see you. Brentford are not easy to deal with. No, they're not. They shouldn't be as well. That I agree with, Rajat. Yes. It like me wearing Liverpool shirt because I support my friend. Don't give us that garbage low. I don't care. Even if the Liverpool shirt said a Man United legend on the back, which it shouldn't do anyway. I don't know why it would. Even if it did, it said a Man United legend on the back, I would not wear it. You would not force me to wear a Liverpool shirt. I rather wear a shirt that is on fire than wear a Liverpool shirt. I'd rather have oil all over my body, right, and wear a shirt that is on fire than wear a Liverpool shirt. Welcome to Manchester United 2025. Absolute. There you go. Manchester United, absolute mess. Now, guys, let me get into it. Man United had just been hearing Man United have got various scouts out in the Club World Championships. In particular, in America, of course, Palmeiras were playing a couple of days ago. Richard Rios, Man United had scouts out there to look at Richard Rios. Richard Rios, of course, we've been speaking about for the last, year. He is a Colombian international who plays for Palmeiras. Incredibly talented. The reason we were priced out in the market last year, he was worth 90 million, apparently, according to Brazil sources. Man United didn't want to go near that. Now, Man United are interested in Richard Rios again. Of course, Richard Rios is capturing the interest from other football clubs as well. This is why you snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose. Man United have been scouting this player for quite a while, but they have got representatives of Manchester United at the World Club Championship. So, look, you know what? We're going to be looking at various players. Man United are going to be looking at various bargains to be had, of course, guys. You know, so that is interesting. I like Richard Rios. As I've always said, Richard Rios is a very good player. Man United should get him, blah, blah, blah. Man United is still interested in him. And, of course, Man United have been interested in him since last summer, but they are still very interested in getting him. But if they're going to get him, they're going to have to act quickly because other teams want him as well. Jeff, a week ago, it was all speculation that Gyökeres to United, he chose Arsenal. Those blokes like Garnacho and Kai are for the limelight. There will never be a bloke like CR7 Messi. That's the limelight. At the end of the day, look, you know what? Football, you have to prove yourself. And I would bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, how hard he worked to get to the level he has. When Cristiano Ronaldo first signed for Man United, he was known as a one-trick pony. People were making fun of him. Arsenal fans who I worked with at the time were making fun of him, doing little movements. This is Ronaldo. This is your player. You know, and I said, just give him time. Just give him time. And it worked. And because he worked hard at his game and he worked hard at his craft. The one thing about Garnacho is that Garnacho started off like Ronaldo, for example, you know, raw, you know, skillful. And we were excited about him, especially when he broke into the side a year or two ago, you know, and we were like, this guy's going to be really good. Problem is, they believe their own hype, their ego gets too big, and then they don't improve. And when they don't improve, the reason they don't improve is because they think that they've already made it. They think that they're already the top of their powers. A bit like Lamine Yamal, guys. Now, Lamine Yamal has reached dizzy heights already in his career. But the way he's going right now, he's not going to reach a Cristiano Ronaldo level. Let me tell you that right now. He's not. Because he's too egotistical now already, guys. He's already thinks he's made it. I've made it. I've done it. I'm the best. Not going to improve like Ronaldo. These are next level. These type of players like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Lionel Messi, these type of players, are not gonna exist anymore. They don't exist anymore, in my opinion. They might be good players for the next 5 years and stuff like that. They'll drift away. By the time they're 40, they'll be retired. Dabby says, respect KDB when he was given the opportunity Man United jersey, being a City player. He said, what do you want me to do with it? Burn it. Because being a noisy neighbor. Exactly there. Exactly that point, Dabby says. And this is exactly what I'm saying. People don't understand the magnitude of it. I don't understand what it is at the end of the day. Guys. Natty, Specialized. Thank you so much, Natty. Big up yourself. Mark, a club is where everyone is down to the fans and the cleaners and pulling in the same direction. The selfish glazers and sack the workers radically promote the wrong culture. Mark, spot on, mate. And that is the problem at Man United. And the culture resonates, and it's an infection that is get infectious all the way through the club on the football pitch as well. You know what I mean? This is the problem. This is the issue that we're having. Cultural problem. I've been talking about, I sound like a broken record. I've been talking about cultural problem at Man United for a long time now. Do you know what I mean? It is getting annoying, to be honest with you. It is really. These kids are not only devaluing the badge, but the performance on the pitch is devaluing the badge by wearing other Premier League club team shirts. Absolutely. It's another Premier League club. This is England. You have a Premier League. They're in the same league. You don't do that. You just don't do that. You don't wear the same bloody jersey. You don't. It's bad enough you're wearing a Roma jersey, you're wearing a Parma jersey, you're wearing Sampdoria jersey, you're wearing an Alaves jersey, you're wearing a Tenerife jersey. It's bad enough that. Right? But when you're wearing a fellow Premier League club, it's bad. It's bad. And people don't understand the magnitude. And when our players, our captain, is going on Instagram and clicking like, it's just as bad, isn't it? Garnacho's a kid, like a boy who got dumped and goes on to his girl's best friend who already had eyes on the post pic. I mean, at the end of the day, what I would say, Mark, was he 21, 2021? When I was 21, I was far more mature than him, mate. I was far more mature than him. I wouldn't be crying about this and that, you know what I mean? About the birds and the bees and everything like that. I just get on with my business. As I said, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16 years old, in Walthamstow in East London. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I had a lot of ish I had to deal with. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, look, these players don't know what they got. They don't know how they have it. They haven't had the real life. They haven't had the real life. They haven't had the tough upbringing. They've been rich too soon. As someone said there, they're rich too soon, Big up. I can remember CR7 getting fouled in loads of games early in his career and him throwing tantrums, hitting the grass and throwing his hands in the air. He learned, trained and hard and worked up. And one thing about that, Bill, big part of that was obviously Sir Alex Ferguson. But you also have to take it upon yourself at the same time to understand, I want to get stronger. I'm tired of getting kicked around. I'm tired of getting bullied. I want to get stronger and I'm going to work at it. I'm going to work at it. I'm going to work at my game. I'm going to work at my strength. I'm going to become a beast. And what did Ronaldo do? He became a beast. He became a monster. No one can mess with Ronaldo. He's an absolute monster. And that is what you do. What does Garnacho do? He's Garnacho the same now as he was 2 years ago. The same Garnacho who left Atletico Madrid all those years ago. And now he's the same Garnacho. He hasn't improved. He hasn't got stronger. He's just Garnacho. In fact, he's regressed. He's just Garnacho. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's it. He's never changed. He's never got, oh my goodness, Garnacho is, he's developing into a fantastic player. You know what I mean? It is so frustrating. What Garnacho did is unacceptable. This is a big FU to the club, coach and the fans. There's no coming back from what he has to go. Big up Purposeful Sovereign. I agree. Mark Gemini, you made a mistake. Rashford didn't go to Piers Morgan. He went to Henry Winter. That's the one. Yeah, Mark. I'm talking about Ronaldo. I was thinking of Ronaldo. Big up Mark Gemini. Thank you, mate. Yale, the buyers of Garnacho is waiting for the PSR round, but I do not expect him to leave until the late in the window near deadline day. Yale, I agree with that. I think that's going to be the case. I think August or something like that, it will be gone. Bill, listen to Vidic the other day. He said when he first joined that he would be the only one in the changing room. He wondered where everyone was. They were doing extra training on their own accord. There you go, Bill. You know what I mean? There you go. That is what Man United is all about. Nobody be sitting on that treatment table. That is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? Sales are slow because United fucked up the toxic because of this. Assets are worthless. Clubs are thinking 10 times if they want United players because before they sell, they are excited. Garnacho. This is exactly what it is. Number one, they're getting a lot of wages. That's no doubt about it. They're getting a lot of wages. Number two, these teams are not stupid. These teams know the problems that come, the baggage that come with Sancho, the baggage that come from Rashford, and now the baggage that comes from Garnacho. They know about it. So they are reluctant to sign players. And if they want to sign those players, they're thinking twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, as you said. So at the end of the day, look, Man United, they expose themselves to the world for being what they are. If you were an owner of a football club and you saw what Sancho did to Erik ten Hag, would you take that risk? 300 grand a week. Would you take that risk? You know what I mean? He could do that to my manager. He could disrupt my whole season. Would you do that? There you go. And news about Sancho, of course, Napoli do not want, surprise, Silla Black, Napoli do not want to pay the fee for Jadon Sancho. They do not want to pay the fee for Jadon Sancho. 300 grand is too much, apparently. I mean, who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? There you go. United is like trying to sell something out of a garbage bin they threw out. Absolutely. It's not good, isn't it? Well, see transfer movement after July 1st, all because of PSR. Yes, we will, my friend. At the end of the day, Mr. Mukupo, easy. Don't wet yourself. What's going on, mate? What, you wet yourself? Who are you talking to, mate? You don't make any sense, mate. And you write in capital letters. You know what I mean? It's a bit silly, mate. Come on, mate. Ruben was all right all along. Absolutely. As we said, absolutely. I'd like to know who's the young players' mentors are at United. You know who the mentors are at United, isn't it? It's Casemiro, Bruno, those type of people who I don't think are good mentors. I don't. People can talk all they like about Bruno. I don't. I come from a different generation. You know what I mean? I don't think they are good mentors, in my opinion. So, when do you think United will have players that appeal the transfer market, players that clubs would battle for? But when do you think United will have players? It's going to take a while, mate. Culture at the football club, isn't it, Mark? Culture at the football club needs to change, mate. The culture at the football club needs to change. And only by then, at the end of the day, will we see players that will be attracted to other teams. You look at the likes of Quenzo, who plays for Liverpool. I know he's not on an astronomical wage, but how quickly they managed to get rid of him. 30 million as well for a guy who's played 17 games for Liverpool. It's crazy. Cassie Bose, don't care about what you said about him, mate. I'm just stating a fact. I stated what happened. That happened, didn't it? At the end of the day, I speak the truth. That's why if you can't handle the truth, one place, mate. Absolutely. Don't rage. Talk calmly as a man. Mac Pupo, guys in the chat, sort this guy out. As a man, talk calmly as a man. Right? What do you talk like, mate? What do you talk like? Why don't you come on the stream and tell me how you talk, fella? I'm speaking calmly as a man. You know what I mean? And what does that even mean? Talk calmly as a man. God, you get some idiots on here. Really do. My goodness me. Raja, what you talking about, see? He's talking crap. I couldn't bear to buy my son rival team's colours for his wardrobe. I got it bad. Big up, Casey. Big up. Casey. No rival sponsored goods in my house either. Absolutely, Casey Baz. I absolutely agree with that, my friend. Absolutely. No candy crown paint Ada. Liverpool jersey. I remember that, mate. Yeah, candy crowns. Yeah. Drapers from Southampton. Who the hell is Faz? The guy who can't even cook a sandwich. I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, he should be eating more salads, not sandwiches. Rashford, Thierry is his idol, whilst Amram says Rashford is just Didn't Rashford say that Cristiano Ronaldo was his idol, Mark, not too long ago? Didn't we say that? You know what I mean? Didn't we say that? He's arranged marriage, you mean, Raja? I'm not sure about that. Natty, that is why we have to check the mentality, not the ability only. And this is what Alex Ferguson used to do quite intensively. Before he would sign a player, he would get to know the person. He would take the family out to dinner and stuff like that. and get to know the person about his hobbies, about what he likes to do in his spare time, what he likes to eat, etc. Is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? Stuff like that. He used to know. What I know, things like that. And that's what Man United have made mistakes for in the past. Hopefully, I'm hoping that we don't make those same mistakes again. And hopefully Man United get to know the person that they're signing. And by the looks of things, it does look like we are at the end of the day. You know? He's not a facts level. Come on, bruv. There you go. United players get famous and they think they've arrived. Absolutely, Chai. They think they've made it. They think I don't need to improve. I'm a Man United player. They think they've made it. That's the problem, isn't it? This guy's cool and all, but it's Faz and Mandem aren't live yet because they're waking up early to some Dubai news. I don't get what you mean, mate. The course of waking up earlier to some Dubai news. Dubai news. What's going on? I'm not in Dubai. Big up. Yeah. We've at 7. Once they come, Man United, they think they've made it. I agree with that. Mate. I agree with that. Dabby says Bruno liked it while he's thinking, good riddance. Maybe. I would like to think that. I bet Garnacho would wear the shirt in the Stretford end. He probably would. It wouldn't be advisable, mate. His energy is in Dubai PM. We are just waking up 7:30 a.m. GB. You know where I am, Kazbase? Do you know where I live, Kazbase? I'm currently in Abu Dhabi, mate. I'm currently in Abu Dhabi. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Until Friday. I'm in Abu Dhabi, mate. That's where I live. Bruno liked it, saying here, good riddance, big up David's ass. What was the bid rejected, Sal? Oh, yes, let me get into that. Thank you, Kenny. The bid rejected was for goalkeeper Lumen. Andre Lumen of Real Madrid. Manchester United had a bid of 15 million euros rejected for Andre Lumen, the goalkeeper, of course, who currently plays for Real Madrid. Guys, Man United had a bid rejected for the goalkeeper. His market value was around 18 million. So that is quite interesting, to be honest with you. 15 million we offered. Man United are the only ones interested in the goalkeeper, the Ukrainian international, of course. 50 million is a good price. Can Man United sway Real Madrid with Lunin, with him? Can they do it? Can they sway them with Lunin? Can they sway him with a bit of loon? Absolutely. At the end of the day, maybe a 20 million euro offer. Maybe that. It's better than paying 40 million for a 33-year-old, right? Right. Here we go. Absolutely. So Man United are interested in Andre Lunin and had a rejected for him, guys, because he is a key player. Man United need a goalkeeper, which is key. Of course, guys, absolutely. People who can't pass the ball keep making noise on social media. So apparently disappointed in Bruno. We should have sold him. Big up Terso, my friend. Big up, guys. Seems like these scrubs won't leave and no one's going to pay their wages. Big up Casse. Ghana has proved I'm correct. Drain the Swamp Boys. Absolutely, Kenny. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. Big up Rajat. Why does Garnacho want to stay in the Premier? It's because he's probably used to England, got family there, he's got kids. Probably used to him. Look, for example, I like Garnacho. People know I like Garnacho. People know I back Garnacho. I'm well known for backing Garnacho, actually. And he's let me down, and that's the thing. He wants to probably stay in the Premier League, not only because of his family, he probably wants to prove a point. He probably, that maybe he wants to do that. Maybe he wants to show Amarim what he's all about, But why does it always have to be like that? If you can't handle the shirt at Man United and you want to go to a lesser shirt, i.e. Aston Villa, go to it. You probably will thrive there because there's no pressure at Aston Villa. There's no expectations at Aston Villa. Man United are the biggest club in the world. That's why there's pressure and you can't handle that. It's all right. That's okay. You can admit that. That's okay. I don't mind that at the end of the day. Lawrence, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. None of these players should go to the English clubs. Big up, Lawrence. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. They shouldn't. We should send them abroad, mate. Big up, my friend, Abera. Can I call you Abera or Bahelu? What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Really good to have you on the stream. Bro, I have a complaint about Antoine. If he gets another chance, except those guys, Sancho, Rashford, Ghana, plus Mbumo daily. What do you mean by that, my friend? Antoine, who's Antoine? Antoine, you mean... I'm not sure you mean that. reiterate that if you can, my friend. Thank you for joining anyway. Big up yourself. Can we rip out Garnacho's contract as a breach of contract being... I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? If it was any other job case, if it was any other job anywhere in the world, right, it would be gross misconduct. Unfortunately, in football, it's not. And they you know, I mean, they could possibly say, look, that's gross misconduct if it was written in the contract. If you put the club into disrepute. This is the problem. You know, with the contracts of these players, the player has the power. It's always about the player. It's always about the player having the power, which is wrong, isn't it? It did look like Villa official Instagram posted "Stay away to get that show." Could be. Big up Yale. Maybe, but no. Big up Rajat. No problem. Our deadwood grows every season. Yeah, exactly. With loads of wood lice and everything. Kenny, Heaven also liked it. He needs to get a slap. These people need to be. These people. They need to learn. They need to learn. What I think. This is what's most likely happened, guys. This is what I think most likely happened. The post was about 3 posts, 3 pictures. So they probably only looked at the first post, right? Which was him with his in a pool or something like that. So they probably only looked at the first post and they liked the first post. That's probably what's happened here, in my opinion. But I can't tell you for certain. This is the year to start terminating contracts. Sancho first, then Rashid free. Absolutely. Will they pay off their contracts though, Lawrence? Obviously, if we're going to terminate contracts, it's going to have to be, you know, we're going to have to pay their contracts off. It's going to be astronomical, especially the likes of Sancho's got 12 months. I'd much rather Sancho leave than be at the football club, to be honest with you. But he's going to get a big payoff, isn't he, at the end of the day, which is disgraceful, guys. Absolutely. Terso, no United bench all the players, let them rot in the reserves. Tell every player to find a club. When they don't, they play in the reserves. Very simple. I agree with that. If we can do that right now, if we don't treat players like assets and we treat them like footballers, that's what we should do, because that's what we used to do. Chris, well, if it didn't matter, I know exactly what Fergie would have done to these players. Absolutely, Chris. Me too. Hesty, even if they didn't see the pic, they must have heard about the commotion at the social media about this. They could have just disliked it post, right? But they didn't. Hesty, it's a problem, isn't it? Why didn't they dislike it? Why didn't they? This is where we get to the problem, isn't it? This is where it starts to become sinister, doesn't it? This is where we start talking about sinister things, you know, conspiracy theories. And we have a right to be fair, because why haven't they disliked it? Some people said that. I didn't hear. I heard it from some people, but some people did say that they disliked the photo. They disliked it. You know, we'll have to wait and see. Big up, Jane. What's going on? Martinez or Maguire fit to be the captain? Martinez for me. That's what other clubs do, Terso. We just keep letting players control the bench. Exactly, Terso. Agreed. Mentality and culture needs to change. People like any shit post on social, they would read that someone had died, and on social media, they put a like. And I mean, yeah, true. That's true, though, Mark. I've always thought about that, to be honest. I have thought about that in the past. Natty, they do not know what the football club, they died for this football club. I wonder why we are 15th. Exactly. Amir, exactly. But exactly, Natty, sorry. Revert 7. Imagine Gary Neville wearing an Arsenal shirt on a holiday in Malta back in 2002. There you go. Mad, isn't it? We don't care about what people say about a club and team. Big up. I love Amorim. Previous coaches after Ferguson were controlled by players. Absolutely. And Amorim's trying to change the culture. Absolutely. Loving the Club World Cup. Much better than watching national teams in the summer. I agree with that, Lawrence. Watching boring England. Oh, goodness me. Hoping England do something finally, which won't happen. United stuck at 65 million. B stuck at 70. It's a traffic jam. Expect us to be alternative target. I don't think so. David says I don't think so. Raja, big up, my friend. He's from Colombia. Yes, my friend, he's from Colombia. We should try hurry up on Rias. I agree. David says big up, Albie. What's going on, Albie Burrows? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for coming back, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. One of the members. Remember, you can become a member, guys. I've got loads of great material coming up this summer. I've got loads of interviews and stuff coming up. I'm working on it at the moment. Obviously, I'm going to Italy on Friday. I'm going to be doing a lot of work over there and stuff like that. So look forward to it. Dabby's hurry up in talks, no overpaying to buy. Big up, big up. Might be as good excuse to watch Palmeiras now. That Rios lasted decent. He is, absolutely. We've been saying for a year now. Sal, Yamal has been busy off the pitch. He has been very busy, yeah. Amir Garnacho will never be like CR7. Ever CR7, where the man CR7 made United like gods of football. Absolutely. They got to work hard to get to there. V33, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Could it damage control by Bruno clicking the like? It's just the small things that mean a lot. A lot of people complained when Garnacho clicked a like, you know, so people are gonna look at that and they're gonna read into it because it's not very good. It's a cosign, isn't it? When you click like on someone's post, when it, you know, it's a cosign. It means you like it. He's basically fighting to get the Malvinas back, Garno. Absolutely, absolutely. Big up Lawrence, by the way. Jane, you can't remember Ronaldo. You can't remember Ronaldo. Garnacho is trash. Who can't remember Ronaldo, mate? I'm 40 years old nearly. But I mean, I've been supporting Man United nearly 40 years. Sorry, I do know who Ronaldo is, mate. Absolutely, I remember him when he was a toddler. That post last night just took 10 million off his valuation. He's thick as a wild banger, bro. Absolutely, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I'm sure that Amram ain't happy about it. I'm sure that Jim Ratcliffe ain't happy about it. Morning, Benny. Morning, everyone. Regarding CR7, he had a proper pros in the dressing room, absolutely, who would put him straight every turn. He was throwing tantrums. Watch Garnacho's career. It's all down from here. Big up, Benny. Could be. Very agreed. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it does take two, though. There are players who played at Man United under Roy Keane and all these players who failed and flopped. You know, they didn't improve. You have to do it yourself as well. This is why he's lasted until 40 years old. And this is why Rooney looks 60 at 40 years old. I wouldn't give Sancho 50k a week. He's got 300k a week, hasn't he? And CSA was seen as cocky. Don't think Cristiano would have ever do this in his manager who calls his father because it's absolutely. Just terminate their contract, take the loss and rebuild properly. There you go. Big up Fariz then. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. No problem. Big up Raja. I hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. Rashad, the full up flop comedian. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining me today. Big up Lee Davis. What's going on, my friend? Everything late in Oz. Big up Lee. Hope you're doing well in Australia, my friend. Hope everything is good with you. Tyborg. Amram deserves our full respect and support. He is the only one who can repair this wrong mentality at United. Absolutely. This is what we're trying to say, isn't it, Tyborg, for a long time? You know what I mean? We've been trying to say this for ages, but people don't listen, of course, guys. They don't listen. D. Dixel, what's going on? If Amram and Garnacho spat didn't come out in the press, the tweets wouldn't have happened. If Amram Garnacho spat didn't happen, the tweet wouldn't happen. It doesn't matter. You got to be professional, Dixel. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, sort it out between your two. Garnacho should have sorted it out in Ruben Amram's face. You know, after the Europa League final. What's people's reaction to Garno? Big up, Chills. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we've been speaking about it. About to end the show. Thank you, guys. Sorry I've taken so long to get to people's tweets, get to people's messages. It gets buried in the bottom, guys. But thank you so much for joining me, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, please don't forget to put, I forget to say this sometimes, don't forget to don't forget to put your notifications on, please. Because when I go live, and there might be a live coming up very soon, in regards to Here We Goes and things like that. So, guys, don't forget to put your notifications on as well. And please don't forget to like the video, guys, if you could do that. Big up, Grayo, you legend. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope everything is good to you and family. And you've had a good weekend and a good week so far, my friend. Good to see you, bro. And, guys, big up, Chills. Thank you for joining me, my friend. I'll see you later on for Chatterbox a bit later on, guys. And don't forget to push the notifications on. And, guys, another roller coaster ride for Man United. It's just another manic Monday. Absolutely, definitely is, guys. Take it easy. See you later on in the day. Peace.